Welcome to the Temple of Flame. On today, Faith Black Lights, we take a look at this. And what this is from Dawson's, who I think just makes some really, really wild sauces. We've got the apple caraway, which of course was from the Hot Ones show, one of the more recent seasons, I believe, 25, I think. And so we've got some interesting stuff here. Peppers, I don't know what that is. Could be bell, could be anything, I guess. Sugars, so we have apple juice and cane sugar. That's where the apple comes from. Vinegar, dates, habanero mash, lemon, caraway, and sea salt. So, caraway is a really interesting sort of thing to use here. Dates is a good sweetener, I think, potentially, depending on how much you're able to actually get out of that flavor. But apples, so apples, I'm thinking this has actual apples, not just juice. And it doesn't. Apple is very subtle in this, I think. Definitely, we've got, it's a really nice color though, very, very pretty. I think this, to me, it reads a little bit more as a habanero mash with caraway. And caraway is a very, very distinctive taste. That flavor is definitely, if it's there, it is when it makes its presence felt. I guess we'll put it that way. So, but yeah, I really like how this looks. A lot of their sauces have a sort of creamy nature to them, I think, to a degree. This one definitely does not. But let's get into it. A lot of pepper sort of mash there as far as tongue feel. I wonder if that is a bell that they're using there. Dates don't really read particularly strong, I wouldn't say. Neither does apple. It's so weird to me to call this apple caraway. I think Hellfire, as I recall, did an apple hot sauce. I'm sure there's probably others. This one is definitely very much pepper forward with that caraway. So I'm thinking, okay, I'm getting these little wax things falling off everywhere now. I really don't understand. I mean, I get that it's an aesthetic thing, but I still don't get the wax. It's weird. Okay, so while I'm thinking caraway, that leads me to instantly think of rye. This is marble rye. And I toasted it up just a little bit here. So I thought rye bread. So I want to make a sandwich with rye bread. And I'm thinking, okay, apple. So as far as something to go on the sandwich, I'm thinking maybe some pork, right? They used to have this nice shaved pork at the grocery store that I could get and just cook up. And in fact, it's been in some of the content on this channel, indeed. And, but it's another thing they discontinued. Why? Who knows? All that's there is steak, and I don't know that I really, when you think of rye, and maybe a Jewish deli, say, you're thinking roast beef, corned beef probably, right? Which is not, for me, what that sauce is going to go with. So I'm thinking, okay, I really want something with pork, preferably. And I'm thinking, well, I could do a pulled pork. I think this actually would be pretty decent, in fact, on pulled pork. I should have got some to test, but I don't want to get carried away with testing because I still need to keep some to try and wing. So I'm like, looking through the store, is there some sort of pork something that is not particularly flavored so I can let the sauce shine? And so eventually I stumbled on Canadian bacon. So Canadian bacon is this kind of, it's sort of between pork and ham is how I would consider it. And I got some havarti cheese. So that's what we're going to do. Let's, well, I got to think of how to make this. I think we're going to start with a base of cheese. Havarti is a very nice, to me, kind of a neutral cheese. So let's throw some of that on. Okay. And where I've tested this, I haven't actually tried it, so I don't know how well this is going to work, but that's what we're going to go with. We'll see what happens. Let's get some of this Canadian bacon here. It's these thick slabs of stuff that really does not want to stay folded. That's all right. I don't think I've ever seen Canadian bacon come in a way that wasn't this sort of thicker cut. Maybe that's just part of it. I don't know. Okay, let's start with that. We'll keep a little bit out just so we can adjust. We're going to try to get the ratio of cheese to Canadian bacon to sauce nice out here. Dates I think would work well on pork as well, but we'll find out. There's some sauce on there. I didn't bring a knife to cut it in half or anything, so we're just gonna slam it. Wow. That is super nice. We accentuate the caraway with the rye bread here. I don't know if there's rye or caraway in this. A lot of ryes have that. There's some creaminess from the cheese. And this Canadian bacon is a fairly neutral platform. And it just kind of lets all this stuff shine. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm. The fruitiness of the sauce, because these are relatively mild components, is really allowed to breathe and to just kind of jump onto your palate. It's so good. They're giving this a 5 out of 10 for heat. I think they had it in the number 4 or 5 slot. I don't remember which on the show. No more than a 1, as far as I'm concerned. It is 1 at most for heat. It is super good though. I think Dawson's has made a lot of really good sauces. This may be my favorite yet from them. There's something kind of special about this sauce. Man, there's definitely caraway in the bread. Eating bits of it in my teeth. Easy way to tell, I guess. Wow. I mean, toasted rye, havarti, and just a decent Canadian bacon. Relatively mild, simple flavors. I mean, maybe not the rye, but it just accentuates the sauce so well. So it's really good here. Like, this is the best I've had this sauce, is in this sandwich right here. But I also have to say, if I'm being honest, I find the flexibility of the sauce kind of low. And it is because the caraway just is very forceful. And I discovered I don't really like the flavor of caraway on tendies. I'm really interested to see what this does, though. I'm really interested to see what this does on wings. Because I will have no problem withdrawing it from the lineup and just having more of these. And I noticed that, I mean, so I've done a lot of sauces. As I film this, there are well over 500 of them that I've reviewed on the blog. Well over. And this is another one that I kind of like it in fairly specific applications. And I noticed I've run into a few sauces like that lately, it seems. Where the flexibility is low. Where they work wonders. Wildly, wildly well. But I find that to be a bit limited. I think this would be really interesting on brats also. If I happen to have this by the time grill season rolls around, then I'm definitely trying that as well. Whoop, Brad, this is the great grains. So great grains bread, if you want to make this. It doesn't have to be Kroger Canadian bacon. Doesn't have to be Kroger Havarti. I would say it will make sense though to use something fairly neutral. But I think this might work on ham. I'm halfway tempted to try it on ham and turkey just to see what it does. But the sauces that are on the Hot One show, I try to save so I can kind of take a whack at the wing thing here. This is, I have never seen this before. I have never seen A serving listed is 3 calories before. That is wild. Maybe that's a Canadian thing. They're almost always 4 when it says there's a gram of carbohydrates. So even if they're rounding, that should either be 4, or if they're saying it's 3/4 and they're rounding up. Like in America, you don't have to. I don't think you have to list it unless it's a full gram. But maybe it's different in Canada. I don't know. Someday it'd be really fun to go explore Canada, I think. Definitely a very thriving, sort of chilly head environment up there, to be sure. You know, you've got Maritime Madness is up there, Dawson's is up there. What else is up there? Pepper North is up there. There's probably a few other ones that are coming to mind right at the moment, but it seems like there's a really good scene for the chili head environment up in Canada. So someday I'd like to go kick around. I haven't been there for a really long time, but I'd like to go back up there and kick around someday. So maybe if that YouTube money ship rolls in, I'll do a tour of Canada. Probably not within the next 4 years, though, because it seems like things are going to be insane for that period of time, particularly as it regards our neighbors. But we'll see. Stuff is always subject to change, right? So, but anyway, yeah, this is in the right setting. I think this is a delight. I think it would be interesting to try it with roast beef. I don't know that I would like that, though. But so the dates I think would work well. Habanero could kind of go either way. The fruitiness of the habanero, I think, might play against it a little bit, possibly. I don't know. Obviously, I didn't do roast beef for this because I really thought it would work better on something closer to pork, which it did. It was fantastic on that Canadian bacon. But like I said, I didn't love it on tendies or in some of the other stuff I tried it on. So I think this is one that you've really got a key to that Caraway. The Caraway is far enough forward in the flavor profile that you've really got to embrace that, I think, to get the best results out of this sauce. And so flexibility is a bit low. I think it is a good tasting sauce, though, so we'll just leave it right there. It is fun to play around with stuff and find the perfect setting. That is a joy, especially when the sauce is as good as this one is. And we'll just leave it right there. So that is the Dawson's Apple Caraway Hot Sauce. Now go forth in peace to serve the flame.